Yo folks, this is Perttu from Apocalyptica, your favorite cello metal band from Finland, and you're watching CMS TV.
It is your classic metal show right here on the classicmetalshow.com. And kicking off the show tonight, we heard Breakout from the band London with our good friend Nader the Priest, whom we haven't heard from in forever. And we just heard the Lynch Pilsen project there from way back in 2003, over 20 years ago already, with The Evil That You Are and The Evil That He is my good friend and partner, Chris Aiken. What's going on there, Chris?
What is up, man? How we doing?
We're back already.
I know. It seems like this week just ended.
It did. It really does. I mean, I was just thinking that. I was like, holy shit, where did this whole week go?
And it was one of those rare weeks when I wasn't in front of the camera every 2 seconds. That makes it even more weird because usually I get lost in what day and time it is.
Right.
You know, but this week I literally just did shows. Not a single interview this week, which never happens.
Right.
But this week went faster. I know. I looked up this morning and I was like, a couple more. Oh, it's already Saturday.
Hey, can you boost your mic just a tad? You're getting to sound like Seth now.
Well, maybe.
You're usually a little lighter, little louder.
How's that? Is that better?
Much more gooder.
I wonder why it did that. That's these fucking updates on this Mac. I love the Mac, but man, every time they do an update, every goddamn thing in the sun under the sun changes.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Hi, people. Want to start over?
No, you just sounded like your other co-host, Seth.
Yeah, well, shit happens.
Just barely,
I'm here now, goddammit.
Just barely can hear you.
That's fine. Nobody needs to hear Seth anyway.
Right.
It's all about me. It's always about me.
Well, apparently so. It was this week when you spoke to one of the Duke boys.
I did.
Bo Duke. You spoke to Bo Duke.
Hey, Seth had a question in there, didn't he?
I don't know. Did he?
He might have one, maybe two. Yeah, I did sort of take that one over, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I thought it was the Chris Aiken show featuring Seth Williams.
Aren't they all?
Yeah.
Every one of them is the Chris Aiken show featured somebody.
Yeah. I rather enjoyed the fact that you got to speak to one of the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, he was cool. He was really pretty good.
Yeah.
I wish he wouldn't have done it in a gym, though. That was kind of odd.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, you got him on the show. God damn it.
Yeah, we got him on the show. His camera worked. I'm not really complaining. It's not like we had any freeze-ups or anything. It was a good interview.
No, not at all. And, he's one of them goddamn conservatives. He should be blackballed from the industry for having conservative viewpoints.
How dare he?
Yeah,
well, I get it.
How dare he enjoy gun rights and, freedoms and low taxes and supporting Trump? He should be banned from the country.
He's one of those that surprisingly does all those things and still gets gigs.
Yeah, somehow, huh?
I don't know how. When you reach a certain age, are you grandfathered in?
I don't know what the secret is there, but it was cool to hear the guy, to see him on camera, to think, holy shit, he's just one of the good old boys.
Never meaning no harm.
Never meaning no harm. But you got to speak to a what you want to call TV land legend, right?
Yeah, an icon in the business.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, even if you weren't brought up in that era, there was a remake of the Dukes of Hazzard movie.
Yes, with Jessica Simpson.
It was so important to commemorate the Dukes of Hazzard because it made an impact on television.
That's right.
Yeah. And you had that goddamn Confederate flag on that car.
Did you like my question about that? About did it make, when I asked him, did it make him more willing to voice his opinion when he got canceled for a paint job from 40 years earlier?
Yeah, right. So funny, man. Just so funny. It's just so bizarre where the focus is. It's just like why are we so reluctant to acknowledge history? It's history.
Because it's scary and it makes me feel scared.
Is that what it is?
I'm not safe. It violates my safe space to see those angry things.
Yeah, so I was a little jealous. That got to speak to one of the Duke boys.
Well, talk to Seth. Seth booked that one, not me. I had nothing to do with that.
Good on him for being able to do that, and of course, he's out there now. The concert that he's having over there in Lorraine. This is a music concert, right?
Right. It's like a storytellers is the way I understood it. It's,
all right.
He's gonna sing and he's got his band, but he's also gonna do take questions and whatever. So
okay, all right, kind of like Michael Franzese in a way.
Yeah, sort of the same thing.
Kind of play some music, tell a story, kind of like what John Mellencamp is kind of doing on this current tour that he got booed off stage for.
I'm sure John Schneider will be like, "Hey, shut up out there! I'm trying to sing."
But that for the legacy acts that are out there doing these type of shows, and they've got a long history in their career. They're willing to be in an intimate setting with their fans, and just kind of get down to telling stories and playing some songs that are maybe meaningful or relate to the story, or whatever the case may be. I enjoy that kind of stuff. I mean, MTV kind of started that 25-30 years ago with storytellers, and
sure,
what was it, they kind of had that it's called Storytellers, right?
They had a Storytellers, and before that was Unplugged, where they told some stories too.
Sure. But I kind of like that, especially if they're, had a long career and actually have something to say.
Sure.
And, Bo Duke, John Schneider, he's no spring chicken, and, he's been around a while, so he's got a few things to say.
Yeah. Well, and he sure didn't hide them.
No, not at all. I mean, he's outspoken, and, I guess it gets to a point in your career and your life. It's like, what do I got to lose?
Yeah.
What are you going to do to me? I'm 70 plus
75 years old. I got millions in the bank. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm going to say what I want.
Yeah, what are you going to do to me?
Exactly.
They cancel him immediately.
Mm-hmm. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I know. But that was quite interesting. So I did check that out, obviously, and
sure.
and did pique my interest as well.
Cool.
And then last night, I was just kind of hanging out a little bit and just checking out on what was on the intertubes, and I saw Anthony Cumia was on for 4 hours last night.
4 hours, Jesus.
He did an hour of his regular show.
Okay.
To where he did his show kind of like what we're doing now, only he does it solo for the most part, aside from Wednesdays when he does it with Gavin McGinnis.
Right.
But then he decided he was going to demonstrate some online video games.
Okay.
He played some Call of Duty, and then he played some golf.
Nice.
So it was just kind of fun, and listening to that. And I guess I wonder, how does he get away with that on YouTube? Because he just sits there and curses and just does what Anthony does, and it's just like, wow.
I guess he's big enough that he makes enough. He gets enough clicks that they don't bust his balls as much, I guess. Yeah, that's the only thing I think of, because Jesus Christ, every time we even hint at it, if we say rigor, we're in danger on YouTube.
That's
so
exactly it. So right near the end of his broadcast there, he was keeping an eye on the chat, the live chat that was going on in the YouTube there. So right like a minute before he was gonna sign off for the evening, I threw a chat out there, a question to him.
Okay.
But he's got a new book coming out in July.
Right.
And I threw a question out to him, which he answered. And I said that I wanted to get him on the Classic Metal Show and interview him for his book. And how do I make that happen? And, he said that I need to get a hold of E-Rock. But according to you, you've attempted to get a hold of E-Rock and you never get an answer.
Yeah, have fun with that.
So I will do what I can. I mean, I hope we can get Anthony on the show.
I would hope that because he's promoting a book. I just know I reached out to him with the kind of handshake that, of his at the time co-host, right, and didn't get a response. So,
right.
And I've reached out to E-Rock at least a dozen times. At least a dozen times. Never get anything back.
Never got an answer once.
Nope.
Okay.
Never.
All right. Well, again, I threw the question out and he answered it, and so we'll see what we can do, if anything, if ever. But I think that would be a big deal for both you and I.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Have Anthony on the show.
That would be great. We'll probably get Opie.
Well, that's kind of funny because during the live stream last night that Anthony was hosting, he had over 400 and some people in the chat.
Okay.
And apparently Opie was doing a live stream at the same time. I guess he was doing it on Facebook or something. I don't know where he does his shit because I can't stomach watching.
So Ant had 500 and Opie had what, about 9?
37. 37.
Dude, 37?
Yeah, 37 in a row?
Dude, we just started we're in our fuck around segment, and over on Rumble we have 73.
Yeah.
On our private chat room we have 25, and on our locals chat room we have 10 or 15 or whatever it is.
Right.
Good Lord, 37.
Yeah, 37.
This guy was a multi-millionaire with millions of listeners.
Well, he is a multi-millionaire, and he used to have millions of listeners, but he can't even draw 37 on a live stream.
Yeah. Come on, bro. That's when you quit.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what Anthony said. It's just like if I fired he said, just even turn on the camera and I'm getting 37 viewers. Yeah. He said, I'd either buy a boat and decide I'm just going to go fishing this afternoon, or B, think, well, it's totally over, or C, maybe I need to retool and do something to gin up the interest in what I'm doing here.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's one thing if you're a small show, like we have small shows, and we know a lot of people that have small shows, and that's cool. I mean, and if you have 10, like John and Brian's Dream Theater show, they have like 20 people that watch their show religiously live, and then they do like another 100 in the week or 2 weeks in between that pay attention. But it's a small show.
Yeah, but
they're just two guys.
Yeah, they enjoy doing the talk.
Yeah, but they're just two guys. Fucking Opie was on a show at one point that had 10 million fucking listeners a day. The show is well known as Opie and Anthony.
Right.
He's the Opie part. And Eddie's drawing 37 people? Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
That's kind of sad.
And, speaking of Opie and Anthony, I heard during Anthony's, he's been doing a 1 hour freebie on YouTube for Compound Media.
Right.
To try to gin up interest in getting new subscribers over to Compound Media. So he's been doing 1 hour of his show on Monday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On YouTube for free. And then after the hour is up, then he, cuts off the YouTube feed and, so be it.
Yeah.
And he signed off, and I think it was just muscle memory or whatever you want to call it, but he signed up right here on the Opie and Anthony show.
It happens.
I know, it's just so funny. He goes, well, I will see you over here at the Compound Media right here on the Opie and Anthony show.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was joking. I just think it just,
No, I probably just slipped.
it just clicked in after, 2 decades of doing that show together.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I did that not even a month ago on the Seth show. I thanked a guest for coming on to Chris Aiken Presents. It's like, thanks for joining us here on Chris Aiken Presents.
Yeah, the thing is you do Chris Aiken Presents.
Yeah.
He hasn't done O&A in 10 years.
Yeah, true. But
so that was just kind of funny.
That is funny.
Yeah. So anyway, that's been my limited entertainment this week. Aside from last week after the show, I started watching the John Bon Jovi "Thank You and Good Night" documentary.
Okay.
That's a long documentary.
I got bored.
Yeah, that was at least 4 hours long.
I'm not even done. I'm only halfway through it. I got 2 in and I was done.
Yeah, it's a long documentary. It took me 3 nights to watch it. So I watched that, and I'm always.
Yes, Demon.
Is that what that is? That's a raping cabin.
It's where they're fixing my car, I hope.
Yeah, but you also have the Qbert screen running in the back.
Yeah, I got the Qbert in the back. I've got the Unabomber. I'm in the Unabomber's cabin.
Are you writing your manifesto back there?
I am, my new one.
Yeah. Well, anyway, getting back to the Bon Jovi thing.
Yeah.
I did watch that documentary over, I started it right after the show last week. I watched about an hour of it, and then I just kind of watched it through the next 3 days or so. And, hey, God bless them for having such a, what do you want to call, documenting such a long career, a 40-year career.
Sure.
And having, again, with all the footage and stuff. But I think one of the more impressive things is I watched that interview that he did with that Michael Strahan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you watch that?
I saw it. I didn't watch it.
Yeah. Well, I watched that, and he invited Michael into his home, and he's got a room, basically a library. And all it is just shelves and shelves and shelves of live or recordings is what it is. It's recordings, whether it's live concert recordings, studio recordings, outtakes, demos, you name it. And just shelves and shelves and shelves of tape.
Wow.
I mean, it was like, holy shit, if that house ever caught fire.
Yeah, no shit. That's it.
That'd be losing a lot of documentary there. But yeah, lots of stuff there. Again, having the presence of mind to hold on to all that stuff, and it's all cataloged. It's all
right.
Right on the binder. It tells you exactly what it is, and a lot of it is live concerts, and it lists on there who they were playing with, whether it was like with Rat or Skid Row or Cinderella, or you could see it right on the binder.
Right.
It like, holy shit. It's like, look at how many shelves worth of video and audio tapes are here.
Sure. When he dies, it'll be like Prince. He'll be released. His estate will be releasing music for the next 50 years.
Yeah, I'm sure. And the thing is with the documentary, and this is just something that everyone was aware of, that he addressed his vocal issues.
Okay.
And how badly he sounded. Because we featured it here on the show where it's just like, Jesus Christ. What happened to his voice? He sounds terrible.
Right.
And, he was well aware of it, and, had some surgery done and had to work on it and rehab and all this other stuff. And, it just gets to the point to where some of these vocalists who've been very, very active for 40 or 50 years. I mean, sometimes depending on their vocal style and their abilities and things, sometimes the old vocals just give out.
Yeah, I think most times. The more I watch of old bands, like this afternoon, I was watching a Scorpion show from like a week ago, so it's a pretty recent show.
Right.
And they're tuned down to W or something.
Yeah,
I mean, they're tuned way down.
And everybody's 80 now.
And I get that. And I mean, he still sounds okay, but it's a hair above spoken word now. He's like, am I leaving you?
Right.
Yes, I'm leaving you. You know, it's like really low. And I get it. You know, he still sounds good enough, I guess.
Yeah. He still sounds like Klaus.
Yeah. I mean, he sounds enough like Klaus that Eddie Trunk will trumpet him as a hero for not using backing tracks.
Right.
But at the same time, as somebody that saw Scorpions in Savage Amusement Tour or Blackout Tour or Love at First Sting Tour, certainly ain't as good.
Right.
I mean, the staging is awesome, and the band is real good.
And I think that's the strong suit of going to see Scorpion show. It's not so much focusing on Klaus's vocal ability.
Right.
It's the fact that they put on a really spectacular, exciting show.
Right.
You know, their show is just big and over the top and bombastic to where the vocal is just secondary. And I think that was the strength of Kiss too, which is the reason why Kiss was able to go on until this, you know, the end of last year,
right,
and do what they do, because the vocals and the you know, their ability to sing was secondary to the show, because it was huge. You know, so you're going there as an immersive experience rather than focusing just on Paul Stanley's ability to sing, or
right,
case may be. So, you know, these legacy acts that still know how to put on a big arena show, and Brian Johnson's in the same category.
Yeah,
he puts on a big arena show, and so you're caught up in the show. You're not so focused on Brian Johnson's vocals,
right?
You know, so it's good enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's good enough. And unfortunately, that's what we get from our artists these days, is below good enough to good enough. We don't really have very many that are like killing it.
But the thing is there's not very many artists, you know, newer artists that can put on an arena show.
No, well,
aside from Taylor Swift or something.
No,
like that,
there's
you know?
not. So you gotta deal with what you get. But
yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, the only ones that really do it maybe as well that are ancient like this, Glenn Hughes.
Yeah.
Glenn Hughes still sounds like he did in 1972.
Yeah. And, you know, obviously I went to see him a couple of months ago.
Yeah. And he's fantastic. You know, I saw him right before the pandemic. It's a great show. I mean, and he fucking brings it.
Well, the thing is he takes care of himself too, because I know that, you know, Don has told me stories about Glenn and basically how he was just a train wreck,
right,
living in Atlanta, and he was drug addled and he was overweight and just, you know, just in bad shape. And he paid for him to come and live with him in LA, you know, for a while. Paid all of his expenses. He lived in Don's house. He, you know, basically got himself, you know, kind of back on track. But then, you know, from what he told us in the interview that we had with him, at the time that Kevin Dubrow had passed away, you know, because he and Kevin Dubrow were very good friends.
Sure.
And he basically was telling us the story about how he found out about Kevin passing away. But, you know, Glenn Hughes, you know, and from at least what he's professed, he's like a born again Christian, and doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, doesn't smoke, doesn't live a hard lifestyle. So I'm sure he's prolonged his ability to perform and sing, because he doesn't abuse himself with drugs and alcohol and cigarettes and, you know, all these other bad habits that unfortunately these singers have.
Yeah. The other one that could surprisingly do it, although even he's starting to slip finally, and he's almost 80 if he's not 80, Sammy Hagar.
Right.
He still sounds pretty good. The last couple times I've seen video of him, it's been like, it's a little shaky. And the last time I did see him, which was that pandemic time? I think it might have been. He was a little shaky. He said he had a cold, but come on, I mean, he still was out there playing. So I'm judging on what I heard. It was a little shaky, but, but he's another one. I mean, and that guy has not taken care of himself. That guy still drinks a fucking gallon of tequila a day.
Sure. Yep. So, another guy that, had an absolutely stellar voice, but kind of ruined it with, his enjoyment of alcohol and cigarettes is Jeff Tate.
Yeah, although he sounded better again. Like, it seems like he may have cut way back because he's sounding pretty good lately.
Yeah, lately. But, I mean, there was a time there where, he totally lost his, higher range and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, that whole American Soldier and Dedicated to Chaos era. Yeah, he sounded awful.
Yeah. But, there was those anomalies that unfortunately are no longer with us, is like Dio. Because he sounded great all the way up until he couldn't perform anymore.
No.
And we saw him on that Masters of Metal tour.
Right.
And again with Heaven and Hell when they were touring, up until the point he got sick.
Right. He died, 6 months after we saw him?
Yeah. So it was, he sounded phenomenal all the way up. And he was almost 70, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
I think it was like 69 or something like that. But just a fantastic vocalist. And, another guy that suffered some vocal problems only because of medical issues was Bruce Dickinson. He had that cancerous node in his throat or whatever the case would be. And that guy still belts it out.
Yeah. Yeah, and still yells at the crowd too. He's still an angry fuck.
Yep. So you just never know. Sometimes it's genetic, sometimes it's just not taking care of yourself. Sometimes it's who knows. I mean, obviously, if you watch the Bon Jovi documentary, he basically talks about the fact that they were a hard partying band.
Oh yeah.
And the sweet likable John Bon Jovi, he basically lets the cat out of the bag about some of his dalliances with the fact that, without saying, I fucked a lot of chicks. He basically said I fucked a lot of chicks.
Of course he did. I mean,
he used the glib, I was no saint.
Yeah, sure you weren't.
But then again, he did say that, I've had hundreds of girls. I'm John Bon Jovi, and it's great.
He's had more than hundreds.
Well, that's what he said.
Dude, every tour was like 150 show stops.
Right.
Especially later into his life when Dorothea started fucking slapping that wall with her face.
Right.
I'm sure he was banging. I'm sure he banged more chicks in the last 5 years than he did in the first 10.
Yeah, you never know.
I'll bet he did. Because he could probably still get 20-year-olds.
Oh, I'm
John Bon Jovi.
Yeah, of course he is.
So when you're like 60 years old, 60-year-old zillionaire, and you're going home to a fucking school teacher looking chick, of course you're going to be banging fucking 20-year-olds on the road.
You're going to go and get some of that strange.
That's right. Dorothea, you need to stay home for this tour. We just can't afford your extra ticket every night.
Yeah. So, so if you, regardless of if you're a fan of Bon Jovi or not, it's a worthy watch. It is a long watch, so you might have to, let's see, probably had a few hundred strippers, let alone regular chicks.
Right. Probably.
regular chicks.
Regular chicks. Then there's this. I've never heard this rumor before, but okay.
I've never heard that before.
Could have happened.
I mean, I never heard that before, but
not saying it didn't happen.
That's a new one.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me.
No. I mean, she's right in that age. I mean, she's Lita's 62, I think.
Yeah, she's right in there. And
boy,
Lord knows she liked her rock stars too. So
she did.
I mean,
She did. She had her fair share. She even had one of the great Black Sabbath guys.
Who, Iommi?
Yeah.
Did she? I didn't realize Iommi.
Oh yeah. She talked about how abusive he was. She said she was abused by him.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's what she said in her book.
I would never read her book. But,
well, regardless, I mean, you interviewed her for her book, didn't you?
I may have, but I don't remember. No, I interviewed her for that.
The sex toys?
No, the horrible, horrible album that she did with Jim Gillette.
Oh, okay.
That was it, American Wonderland or something.
Yeah. I remember.
Oh, that was so bad.
That was the comeback.
Yeah,
and it was album when he released her from her chains from the island.
Yeah, that was so awful. Oh, that was a bad one. But
yeah,
I talked to Lita maybe 3 months ago, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to do some starving artist stuff with Lita, but that did not work out.
I saw Lita, about a month ago at the airport.
She's real nice.
She's very nice, but boy, that lifestyle has taken a toll on her.
No.
Holy shit.
When one of your marriages was Chris Holmes, that says it all.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Don said she's a 50-footer.
Back of the arena, she's still sexy.
Yep. Stand back about 50 feet, she still looks good.
That's right.
Just put the old eyeliner on and, fluff up the hair and, she's still in good shape. But boy, that lifestyle, I'll say it from the perspective of Peter Frampton, lines on my face.
That's right. The whole ridden hard and put away, aged.
Yeah. So that anyway, it's just a interesting time that you and I and a lot of our fans live through. Whether you're, senior citizen like Jackal who likes the 60s and 70s stuff, and through the 80s, all the bands that were so big, be it the Kiss of the world or the Aerosmiths or the bands that to this day, the Rolling Stones.
Dude, have you seen any of the footage? Speaking of them, have you seen any of the footage from the new tour?
I didn't know the tour kicked off. I know that they're having a tour. I didn't know it kicked off yet, though.
It kicked off at some festival somewhere. I fucking hate Mick Jagger. And I hate Keith Richards. Fucking Mick Jagger is 80 years old.
He's 80 years old.
Let me find this video real quick. He is 80 and he is running around like he's 20.
I know, but just getting, well, maybe they did have that deal with the devil. And
they must have, because Jesus.
I think that's what the Goat's Head Soup was all about. They made a deal with the devil. But anyway, those bands during our era of music, it was whenever the bands came through town, it was always at the arena. We never talked about going to the club to see a band.
Right, sure.
We're going to the Gund Arena, or we're going to the Coliseum. We're going to the Coliseum to see, because that was just the norm. Any bands that we like, they were all arena bands, all of them.
Oh yeah.
And the bands that are left from that era, they're still arena bands for the most part. The big ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we talked about this a decade ago about what happens when these arena bands are gone.
Yeah, nothing.
That's the end of it. There's just no such thing as an arena band anymore.
Yeah, you go to see Taylor Swift, or you go to see Adele, or Billie Eilish. That's what you go see. That's the new arena bands. You want to see this? This is going to make you fucking sick.
I haven't seen it, but hey, good on them if they're still, kicking around like they're 20-year-olds.
Mick Jagger just absolutely pisses me off.
Look at that setup.
I know.
That reminds me of Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusion tour.
Yeah. Wait
For
till you
all I
see.
know, it could be the same stage.
Could very well be, but wait till you see this fucking guy's energy. I wish I had this energy. I'm telling you, and I'm fucking, 25 years younger than him. And I'm telling you, I get done working out for fucking 45 minutes and I just want to crawl in bed and die for an hour. This fucking guy is running and singing for 2 straight hours.
Yeah, well, so this was 6 days ago?
Yeah. So it's as recent as it can be.
All right.
But Mick Jagger is just murdering it. It just it pisses me off.
All right.
Watch this. Look. This ain't the video. He's what is he? 140 pounds?
he's just a small guy. He's just a small, skinny, slender little guy.
Yeah, this is not the video I want to show you, by the way.
And obviously, the legendary Keith Richards with the talk of the hard life he's lived, and he's up there just.
He's just bringing it. All right, that was the wrong video. This is the right video. This
right.
is at something called New Orleans Jazz Fest on May 2nd. So this is this is what 2 days ago.
Yep.
This is the one that I saw, and it made me absolutely mad seeing Mick just fucking running around. He's 80.
Yeah, look at him.
But watch that. Watch him run. He's 80 years old. You would think at 80 years old, knowing that you got to do 2.5 hours, you'd be fucking pacing yourself and counting every step so that you sound good.
Sure.
Not this guy. No. Watch this. Look at him. Yeah, let's just run out here. I'm already tired. Look at him. Now, the rest of the band looks like they're 80-year-olds.
Yeah, they're just up there playing.
They're just playing, but Mick running out 8 miles away from the front of the stage.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got some juice for 80.
Just think about what the typical 80-year-old looks like at your grocery store.
Dude, the typical 80-year-old looks like Uncle June staring at a fucking window. And here's Mick just running back and forth, dancing, singing.
Right.
Trying to get chicks to want to bang him. Didn't he just have a kid like a month or two ago?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he did. Like 2 months ago, he had a kid. He's fucking 80. And he had a kid with his like 23-year-old girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
Good on him, right?
Yeah. Hey, man, God bless him. God bless anybody who's, in their 60s, 70s, and into their 80s who are still out there touring and still can sell arenas.
Yeah, no shit.
Arenas.
Arenas. What do you think the last time Mick Jagger had a piece of cake was? Probably 60 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
This guy, I bet you that guy hasn't had anything unhealthy in years other than drugs.
Well, again, if you have that kind of dedication, to keep it together,
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole thing. It's just having the dedication to keep it together. I remember when, when I've shared some of my health habits, dietary habits, things like that, how Bob Leather would always make some kind of smart ass comment, during one of his little call-in diatribes,
Sure.
I'm eating like a faggot. Okay, well, Mick Jagger, he probably eats like a faggot, but he's still out there dancing around and entertaining, stadium-sized crowds.
No, he's still making $2.5 million a day. 60 years later, he's still making $2.5 million a day.
Right.
Can you imagine making that kind of money?
Well, again, at what point, good on him, but at what point it's just like, what does $2.5 million mean to you when you have, probably $1 billion?
That's going to mean something to that kid that's never going to remember her dad. What are the odds that kid remembers its dad?
Well, if Mick continues good health and lives into his 90s, his kid will be 10 years old.
Yeah, that is true. Mick just drives me crazy. In the best way possible. In the best way possible.
So are you going to the show? I know you said your mom was getting tickets or something. Are you going?
You know what? I'm going to have to ask her what we're doing. I don't know. I have not heard another word. She had said she was buying the tickets and we were going.
All right.
But that's the last I heard about it. And she's in fucking Spain right now, so it's not like I can ask her.
What is she doing in Spain?
My niece lives in Spain.
Ah.
So she's out visiting my niece. And,
I see. Well, good for her too, for being able to just travel out.
Yeah, but she's not Mick Jagger. Like, Mick Jagger's just like out there doing it. My mom's like going to the doctor and getting checkups and getting everything done,
right?
So that she can be healthy enough to go.
Right, of course.
And she's healthy. I mean, she still walks like 2-3 miles a day and everything else. I mean, she's still at it. Believe me, I'm the embarrassment of my family being a fat tub of shit. But but yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. The worst part about that show is it's going to be all 80-year-old people in the stands, and I'm going to look like them. I'm going to just be like there looking for, hey, can I borrow your oxygen?
Right. You don't mind if I use your walker to go to the concession stand, do you?
Exactly. Can I use your scooter?
You got to hover around. You got hover around parking over there.
That's right.
So where is it that they're playing? There's
stadium, I think.
We're at the Cleveland
Brown Stadium. Yeah.
Cleveland Brown Stadium. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm glad you reminded me of that because I didn't even think I need to ask her whenever she gets back here.
Yeah, because you did mention that a while ago, and I was thinking, well, hey, good on you for going.
Yeah, I'd love to go. I mean, I'm not a huge Stones fan,
I know you're not, but it's an experience.
And I've seen them once, and they put on a good show. I saw them with Guns N' Roses and.
That was what, the Voodoo Lounge tour, or the Steel Wheels tour?
So it was like Steel Wheels. It was
Steel Wheels.
It was with Guns N' Roses and I think Living Color.
Yeah, Living Color.
I think that's who was the other one.
When I was living in LA at the time. I think that was 89 or something like that, 89 or 90. And that's when Axl had his breakdown on stage there in LA and basically made that statement that people in the band had better straighten up their shit or there won't be a Guns N' Roses.
That's right.
And that was shortly after. That's when Steven Adler got the boot.
Right. No, Jerry. Even them old hags don't want my fat ass. They're not going to be coming over. They're going to be like, son, you need to take care of yourself. That's what they'll be saying to me.
Right.
Little do they know I'm trying to.
Be like Jerry Lindegaard and Fergal. I'm doing all I can here.
Yeah. Well, I am, Jer.
I'm doing all I can.
Trying.
Yeah. Well, good for you. Good for everybody who, is mindful of taking care of themselves, and just use Mick Jagger as some inspiration for you.
Yeah, every time I want to quit, I should just put this video up and say, look at this old motherfucker doing. You're sitting here breathing heavy at the fucking easy level on DDP, you faggot. What are you doing? Get up and do some more.
Yeah. And you got to wear a bracelet that says, "What would Mick Jagger do?"
Yeah, exactly.
That's my inspiration.
Yeah.
What would Mick Jagger do?
So true.
Foghorn Leghorn. I say, son, you need to start taking care of yourself.
Son, you better put down that beer. I say, son. Put down that beer. Get yourself a water.
Exactly. Are you still drinking your waters? What is that? What is that thing you drink?
The rewards.
Yeah, the reward.
I haven't been able to find any in like about 2 months. They've been
that right?
They have not been anywhere. So I've been drinking Crystal Light, iced tea, and just regular water.
I see. All right. It's just called Reward Water.
Yeah, Reward. It's like Reward energy drink or something, but yeah, I can never find it. It's a pain in the dick to get.
And it's your favorite.
It is. I love it. I mean, every time we find it in a store, we buy it out. And by we, I mean my daughter, because I don't go to the store.
Well, you can get it on eBay.
Yeah, no, but it's crazy priced.
Well, what do you normally pay?
About $1.70 a bottle.
A bottle. All right. Let's see here. 21 ounce, 12 bottles at $48. So,
yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, well, I just didn't know what you.
$4 a bottle? No.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were paying. Again, I never saw this stuff. I never looked for it to begin with.
Yeah, you know what I pay for the Crystal Light? $4 for 10. I'll keep with that.
All right. Yeah, I just I never looked for it, so I didn't know what the cost of that stuff was.
Yeah, it's pricey, but it is great, and it does give me a lot of energy. That is for sure. So
good stuff.
But whatever. I'm slowly getting the energy back, like to where it's like I got so far out of it that the getting up part was the hard part. Getting up in the morning and getting to it. But now that's kind of the easy part. Now the hard part is pushing through the last set on the weights and stuff. So, I've increased all the weight, which is good. I can do a lot of weight now, but that third set really is a bitch now.
Sure. Well, when you considered where you were with, getting the Rona 3 years ago.
Right.
And then having the issues with your shoulder and all that. And then, snapping back from that and, getting it back together, that's a kind of a tough climb.
It's a bitch, man.
Especially when that shoulder kind of sidelined you there for the longest time. And,
that
of course,
was a bitch.
The Rona zapping your,
everything,
your
breathing,
upper respiratory system, just really causing you some issues there. But we're able to overcome that and, come out on the other side.
Yeah. Well, when I started this workout thing back in when was that? Like October, I think. October, November, somewhere in there. I could do about 15 minutes of the DDP, and then I would just be sitting down choking. I'd be and now I'm up to I do the full yoga for 24 minutes, and then I go and lift weights for 20 more minutes. So, that's pretty good. Yeah. That's a pretty good improvement for 6 months.
Man, not bad. Yeah.
So I'm getting there.
Yeah, it's as the old saying goes, it's just baby steps.
Mm-hmm. Pretty soon, now that the weather's starting to break, I'm going to actually take my fat ass up that big hill that I live on every day. And
how about that?
That's when if I can get to the top of that hill, I'll be happy. But I just have a feeling that's going to be a fucking longer term getting up to it.
Your neighbors will be referring to you as Sisyphus. You're going to be rolling that stone up that hill.
That's right. Dude, it feels like it, pushing 400 fucking pounds up a hill. Oof.
There goes Sisyphus trying to conquer that hill again.
That hill is a bitch, though. It definitely, I honestly believe it's why everybody on my fucking street is fat, because nobody walks because you live on this fucking big hill.
Everybody on my street is fat.
Everybody on my street is fat.
That'll be a new Chris Aiken book. Yeah. Everybody on my street is fat.
They really are, though.
I think that'd be a funny title for a book.
It would be.
Well, be an inspiration to your neighbors. Me, I don't talk to my neighbors, but
Well, I talked to the guy across the street from me, and I talked to my neighbor Jose on this side of me. But yeah, the other guy, I guess the one guy that moved in across, like directly kind of across the street from me, he came to one of my parties.
Okay.
Him and his wife, but I was so fucked up that apparently I don't remember meeting him, but my son said I was an absolute cock to him.
Really?
And I have not spoken to him since, and he hasn't spoken to me since. So I think there's probably some truth to that.
All right.
And then, of course, the neighbors on this side are the ones that called the fucking police on me. So
yeah, sure.
So I'm really not speaking to them. Although I was outside Thursday, I guess it was Thursday with the speaker, and I just don't give a fuck now. Now it's full blast.
Yeah.
Full blast Sepultura for 3 hours.
Yeah, you show them, fucky.
I am. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Now that I know the police ain't gonna do nothing, fuck them. Sepultura it is. New Cannibal Corpse it is.
Yeah, get them, Max.
That's right. I'm gonna just fucking piss them off.
Yeah.
Although, wait till you see, dude, and I know I'm just sharing shit that nobody else will give a fuck about, but they next door, they're still doing it. They have been rebuilding that house, the next door house,
okay,
for fucking 8 months.
All right.
And it's ridiculous looking. It's like, I mean, my whole neighborhood is basically ranch style houses and a few that have like a second floor. Mm-hmm. But say it this way: about $150,000 to $250,000 houses.
It's your typical early 70s, early 70s neighborhood.
This fucking guy is building a $600,000 house. It's going to be the only one in the neighborhood, and he's too dumb to understand that it's going to make his house not worth shit.
Right.
Because who wants it? The one thing you don't want to have, and this is a tip for you youngsters, you don't want to have the nicest house in the neighborhood, because it'll have the least retaining value, because it gets value from everybody else's house.
Yeah.
So if you build a $600,000 house in a neighborhood of $200,000 houses, your house is only going to resell for $400,000.
Right.
Fucking dumb motherfucker. Good. Fuck him.
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Stupid dick.
Well, I see we're both in pretty good form here this evening, both energetic and alive and ready to bring you a show.
Oh, yeah. I've been in CMS mode all week this week. Even like on the Seth show, I don't know. Did you hear when I snapped into that about the
Bob Harris?
Yeah, Bob Dole's dead arm.
Yeah.
Drawing like a spirograph on Kamala's asshole.
Now, what made you put the connection of Bob Dole and Kamala Harris?
I have no idea.
I mean, that's just like, well, it's like, are you telling us something we weren't aware of?
No, but it just popped into my head, that fucking dead arm thing, and I just immediately had a joke that I thought was hilarious, and it was hilarious enough that Seth couldn't fucking stop laughing to do the show.
It was kind of bizarre. It's like Bob Dole and Camel Face Harris.
And I don't know how I came up with that about Bob Dole fucking her, but
so funny. It's ridiculous.
You
got into a little bit of political talk due to your discussion with John Snyder earlier. In the show. So kind of threw you that direction.
Yeah, but I can't be full politic guy. I think Seth has figured that out now. I can't be the Alan Combs to his Hannity.
Right.
I have to be kind of a dickhead sometimes.
Well, just covering that atrocious show with what's her face?
Drew Barrymore.
Just her fawning over.
Dude, we could do that here later if you want to. If you want to have your own take on it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we could talk about that later.
Yeah, I mean, because there's plenty to do with that. Jesus.
Holy shit.
And all the crying and stuff. Oh, my God.
And just sitting there staring intently to Kamala, just sucking on every word that was uttered out of her mouth. It was just unbelievable.
You're the mamala. You're the mamala of the country.
Shut up.
And we need a mom to give us a hug at this point. Shut up! Shut up. And Kamala with that dumb laugh every 2 seconds. Oh. Just wanted to see her have an aneurysm right there on the stage.
Right.
And Drew for that matter too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, but when did she stop being hot?
When she decided to look like Skeletor.
Jeez, man.
I mean, now that she's got her own TV show, she's got to be ultra thin, and ultra thin does not work on her at all.
No,
she just looks like
awful.
Yeah.
Very true.
Her lisp and her crooked mouth.
Yeah, the lisp is a little annoying too.
Mm-hmm.
For a talk show host.
Right.
Good Lord.
All right. Well, I guess we'll take a break. And
okay.
If you want to get a request in, you could send your request to the CMS request at theclassicmetalshow.com. Request at theclassicmetalshow.com, and I'll try to get something on there for you if you send something in, and I'll be glad to play it throughout the show. So as a tradition, I will let you pick out the lead off track.
All right. Well, I get into this Jag every once in a while just because when this band mattered, I did not know anything about them. I literally discovered them from you in the CMS. That band is Thunder, which I spent the whole week listening to every song they've ever done.
Okay.
And I would like to hear Fade into the Sun from the Magnificent Seventh.
Okay.
Cool song. Great band. They're so fucking good.
Yeah, they are.
I wish they would just stop retiring and just...
that is the most bizarre thing about that band is after every album and after every tour, well, we're done now. We're retired. Oh, hey, we got a new album coming.
Yeah, we never know anything's going on. All of a sudden, it's like, hey, new album.
I said, didn't they break up like 6 months ago?
Every time. And they always end with, well, we're going to do one last Christmas show and we're out.
Right, of course.
And 6 months later, hey, here's the new album.
Right. That's too funny. All right, well, we will kick things off with the band Thunder, and I'll get into some of your requests, and we'll be back in a few minutes. So here it is. It's Thunder with Fade into the Sun exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
The true hub for Chris Aiken Presents is their website, www.chrisaiken.net. You can watch all live episodes of the show live, participate in the chat as well. You can get past shows in both audio and video on demand formats. Join Eric Ferentinos' VIP Facebook group right from our page. Bookmark it today. www.chrisaiken.net. That's ChrisAkin.net.